Hey, how's it going, everybody? This video is going to be about the 10,000 calorie challenge and how I don't support it. You see a lot of fitness YouTubers and people in the fitness industry doing these challenges where, like for example, a 10,000 calorie challenge, to eat 10,000 calories in a day or whatever, or at one period of sitting. This creates a bad relationship with food, and I'm not attacking the people that do this for their channel. I look up to a lot of people on YouTube, and I feel like they do a lot of good, but this 10,000 calorie challenge, I simply can't support it, because you think about it, it creates a bad relationship with food, and it just isn't good. Eating that many food, eating that much food at one period of time, because let's say you normally eat 2,500 calories or whatever, that's like 5 times as much as you normally do. It's okay to have a cheat meal here or there, but these challenges, especially in the fitness industry, when a lot of people know about how important nutrition is, and really eating right. It's just no excuse for making a video of you just going all out and eating as much as you can. I don't see the point of that. It's not, it doesn't create a positive vibe, and it's really in the sense of people that have problems with eating, different eating disorders. It's just kind of rubbing in their face. Hey, they can eat all they want because they're not going to gain weight, or they know everything about their body, so they know how to get back onto track, as opposed to a normal individual who just started into lifting and eating right. They don't know how to do that. But then again, at the end of the day, it's the individual choice to put the right foods in the body. There's so much information about eating healthy, but then again, you really can't promote eating that much food in a day. It just, there's nothing about it. Also, I want to talk about the if it fits your macros thing. You see a lot of YouTubers and stuff talk about that. It's good to an extent, because it helps you plan, okay, how much carbs, how much protein, how much fats I need, and I can substitute different foods here and there. But then people go to the extreme, well, I can have McDonald's every day as long as it fits in my macros and stuff like that. There needs to be a disclaimer in each and every video about, okay, if it's okay to have a cheat meal here and there, but the majority of your food needs to come from solid, good, lean meats, veggies, good sources of carbs, and good fats and stuff like that. It's not, because I don't, I really don't understand it. Because you see all these YouTubers going out to Chipotle, or every single day, like every single day. It's okay to go on that on occasion, but you just have to think about the message they're sending. Promoting fast food and stuff like that, instead of really just cooking it at home, or really getting some high quality meals in, as opposed to going out and eating. That gets expensive too. I think you know they have a service, the YouTubers have a service to individuals to provide the right information, and put on, if you want to motivate somebody, if that's your mission, is to help others get to a certain goal, you need to act like that. Don't, I understand you're not going to eat 100% right all the time, but you definitely should not be eating Chipotle, or going all the restaurants every single day, like for lunch or dinner or whatever. That's not an example that you want to set. No matter what you do in the gym, no matter what workout plan is, you got to eat healthy and create those habits. Not the average individual's going to even afford to go out to eat every single day. You have to cater to the average individual, if that's what your mission is going to be. A lot of YouTubers I see, the mission, okay, you got to get, they want to get into bodybuilding or something like that. You got to do this exercise, eat this, eat that. But then opposed to, them going out to eat, because they know the body, so well and everything. But, at the end of the day, these 10,000 calorie challenges, and, if it fits your macros, it's really, send a bad message to the average individual that's starting into lifting. If you're going to talk to people and motivate people, you really have to set a good example by not, promoting eating as much food as you can in one day or one sitting or whatnot, or going out to eat every day. There's no positive message that comes from that. It's only creates negativity and, creates a bad relationship with food, showing that basically you need to eat 10,000 calories, and eat all this bad food because you crave it. When opposed to you can make high quality, good ground beef or, lots of veggies and good sources of carbs, at home. That's where I feel like that there needs to be more of that, less of, going out to eat and all these challenges. Once again, please subscribe to my channel and like this video if you do. Thank you.